Automatic Sun, a studio version from the Warnings channel. Let's go give it a listen. Hey there. So this is from the channel of The Warning, and it is a studio version with a look at the Tecate Pal Norte Festival. So let's give this a listen and a watch. Here we go.
Les tenemos una sorpresa especial. Vamos a tocar una canción que no ha salido todavía. Esta canción se llama Automatic Sun.
Somehow you still got me trapped. The silence at midnight just feels like your nails down my back. Try not to think about it too much. The weight of everything's just an unavoidable headache. But you got me begging instead, burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me. Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me. And if you call to me, will you be my mirror, reflect what I need? Oh, you're so out of reach, yeah. The way you hurt me's never enough. This addiction's hard to give up. If you want it all, then just take it. 'Cause you got me, you got me. Burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me. Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me. Try not to think about it too much. The weight of everything's just an unavoidable headache. The way you hurt me's never enough. This addiction's hard to give up. If you want it all, then just take it, take it, take it. Burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me. Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing, doing. Look what you're doing, doing. Look what you're doing to me. Yeah.
Okay, that was a studio version laid over a live performance, obviously. But I found it to be very interesting for the following reasons. First of all, the vocals are highly produced. It's clear that there's a lot of double tracking and enhancement on the vocals. That's fine. I'm not criticizing that. I'm actually saying that works for this song very well. The song struck me right off the bat as being very heavy, and it's not all coming from Ale's bass. Now, at first I thought it was when I first heard this drop. Of course, again, this is a studio version. So let's listen to the bass drop. Now obviously, Danny's guitar is fuzzed. And what I mean by that is there's overdrive on it, but there's also a fuzz effect on it, which is a little different than overdrive. Fuzz gives that buzzing sound in there that you're hearing. You hear how heavy that is? That sounds like another guitar track underneath the bass when she drops in. And that's what I thought was happening at first. And I thought, well, of course, this is a studio cut. I wonder what that sounded like live. And I'll show you in a minute. So let's go on. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, this is a drop tuning. And this is going to be important in a minute, to me anyway, as a guitarist. But let's go ahead and listen to it a little bit further. I want to show you that the Warning is finding a groove. And what I mean by a groove is not a groove in the song, which is different than the kind of groove I'm talking about here. It is the groove of the band. Whereas, like, if you hear an AC/DC song, you know it's AC/DC. You hear Band-Maid, you know it's Band-Maid. You hear Love Bites, you know it's Love Bites. Why? Because they have a particular personality as a group. This is what the Warning has been looking for, a personality. And they achieve it from time to time. I thought 21st Century Blood was one of the best songs I'd ever heard, at least the studio version. And I'll have to listen to some live cuts, but it doesn't matter to me. It was such a well-written song. This song, again, and excuse me, I'm having a hard time defining the Warning because I think because they've been looking for their identity. Who are we within the world of rock? Where do we carve out our niche in this rock world? Because you have to. I mean, it's too big of a universe for you to say we can dominate the whole thing. Even bands like Band-Maid are not dominating the entire rock scene. As amazing as they are in their songwriting, as amazing as they are in their live performances, or Baby Metal, or Love Bites, they still have to find that place that they belong. This is our identity. This is who we are. So I've gone on too long about that. What I'm trying to say is I think that the Warning is beginning to settle into a particular sound. This is who we are. And I want to just play a little bit of this so I can identify it for you. Okay, that effect that she's doing right there on the nuts, right above the nut of the guitar, which is, it's being done, she's doing it right here, all right, live. But that's not, I think, how it's happening in the studio. Because if you do this here, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to try it, but I don't think it's going to make that same effect. She's holding the second fret when she does it, okay? So she's doing that, right? Because this is where the bass note, this is the key of the song right here, this B. All right, so, and it's a B, and I'll show you why it's a B in a minute. And then she's hitting this nut, and it might be what's producing it because of the drop tuning that they're using. This is an interesting song, and it's written around this drop tuning, I think. This is my opinion. Because of the effects that they're doing depend on this drop tuning, I think. This is my opinion. So let me go ahead here and show you some more of this groove. Hear that? All right, that thing that Pow's doing. All right, that's what, like you hear AC/DC, you get that same identity going. You know the drummer instantly.
Somehow you still got me trapped. The silence at midnight just feels like your nails down my back. Try not to think about it too much. The weight of everything's just an unavoidable headache. But you got me begging instead, burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me. Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me. And if you call to me, will you be?
Now these dropouts like this that they do this a lot in their music, and it's fine. It's personality, and it gives you open space. Hard to find that in a power trio because your tendency is to want to fill up the open space. So the fact that they're brave enough to do that and do that regularly is telling you that they're finding their identity here, that they're getting more and more bold about their choices.
In my mirror, reflect what I need. Oh, you're so out of reach, yeah. The way you hurt me's never enough. This addiction's hard to give up. If you want it all, then just take it. 'Cause you got me, you got me. Burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me. Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to have that on your wall? That is a perfect representation of Ale's presence on stage. That's an amazing shot. The fact that they dropped the band out here and just used the bass pedal and let Ale just fill up this space here makes it's a great little effect in the song.
Try not to think about it too much. The weight of everything's just.
Now, do you hear how Danny's vocals dominate the atmosphere over the bass even?
An unavoidable headache. The way you hurt me's never enough. This addiction's hard to give up. If you want it all, then just take it.
Now that sound you hear coming in, that's the volume being raised on a guitar, so that you can hear you hear the strings coming in and the effect coming. You're building the dynamic to your point of release here.
Burning your automatic sun. Look what you're doing to me.
Now, if I had been producing this for live, I would make sure that the number one thing that I paid attention to would be the vocals being out front, because the bass is going to thunder off that stage, because you don't hear bass, you feel bass. And you can turn a bass up and it can rumble through the floor of any venue as far as it wants to go, typically, with the right equipment. And POW is going to get above and beyond in terms of sound and power and pushing her sound out. So what do you want to get out there? The guitar's drop tuned so that it has this big thunder sound, because you're in a power trio, and that's a nice way to handle that. But Danny's voice has got to get up above and out in front of the whole thing. That's the way I would have produced it.
Give me your psychosomatic heart. Look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing to me.
Right here. Now, I don't know, if it was me, I might have let this run out a little longer, but hey, it's the studio cut. All right, so we're going for 3.5 minutes airtime. It's still a nice outro, so either way works. Now, What I did, because I thought, man, I got to hear this live. And I know the only thing out there is fan cams. So this has taken me 90 minutes easy to find a recording that might show us a little bit of what I'm thinking. And I found it, and here's the problem. Okay, most of the fan cams sit up close to the stage, all right? That's fine if you want to see the band. If you want to hear the band, you need to be out there, because when you're up near the stage, you're up between the towers. So the sound is behind you, actually. So what you're hearing is only what comes off the stage. So I looked for a fan cam that was out in the distance, and I found it, and I was fortunate enough to find somebody that was wise, that while they were out in the distance, they could still zoom in on stuff that was happening. So this is Automatic Sun, same venue, but the live recording. And I wanted to show you a few things here. Now, this is where it kicks off, I believe. Yeah. Now she's getting that effect, so I don't know if she's adding something with a pedal or if it's just naturally added because of the drop tuning. I suspect the latter. So I've got to try that myself, but I've got to find the drop tuning first. Okay, so you can hear the sound is right, sound is good. It's what it ought to be for a live venue. At 3225, there is no bass here. I'm going to show you what I mean. We'll back up a little bit. Ale drops out for Danny to sing. See, she's not playing. And I didn't catch that in the studio recording, so I don't know if that's affectation for live, because that helps Danny's voice get out front. But like I told you, if I was producing this live, I would want that vocal out as far as I could get it. And now you can hear Ale drop back in. Okay, so I want to talk about this open tuning for a minute. This is for all you musicians out there. I couldn't find this at first because I went all over my guitar and I was like, okay, I see it, I hear it, but I don't understand how it works across all 6 strings. So I had to look it up. This is a drop A tuning. Now, I've never encountered a drop A tuning. I've encountered, all the others or many others. But apparently drop A can be done several ways. So we don't know which way Danny did this. I know that she did it. At first, I thought maybe Ale was using her bass in standard tuning, maybe dropping 1 string and playing along on different notes with her sister. But I think what's happening there, I'm pretty sure what's happening there is even Ale's bass is tuned, which tells me that the drop A they're using is probably across the major scale from the 6th string down to the 1st. A, E, A, D, F sharp, B. Okay, now you can also tune A, G, C, F, A, D from the 6th to the 1st, or you can take a D standard tuning and drop the D string at a full octave down to A. that she might have done that. And the reason I say that is a D standard tuning is pretty common in rock. However, and because I can only find like 3 bands that have used this drop A tuning, and they're bands that I haven't heard of. Doesn't mean they're obscure. It's just bands I haven't heard of. So if they're using this tuning, this is unique. This is an idea. This tells me they're pushing out their boundaries, which is cool. And it's great that they're doing this because they're looking for ways to create that personality, that sound that I was talking about. So for you musicians, I believe this is a drop A tuning, and the first set of notes that I gave you would be correct to try and copycat this song. Now, I haven't played it out yet. I will. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and tell you. You can also try a D standard tuning and then just drop your 6th string down to A, an octave below that A in that D tuning. And that probably would work too. You just have to find different fingering. But I think that first one I told you is the one she's using. And I'll tell you how I know they're using the open tuning that's odd in a minute. So I know what I was trying to point out. Ale is, her fingering's the same. That's what told me she's tuned the same. And there she sits on that B note, right? If that's dropped to A, what I'm telling you is that first tuning I gave you is a perfect 4th below standard tuning, all the way across the neck. Then that makes that a B when she's fingering it on the 2nd fret like that. Okay, follow me? All right, that's for you guitarists out there. Okay, so, and here's what tells us that they're using an unusual tuning. All right, because they can't do back to back with the same instruments. Okay, right there, you just saw Danny change guitars, right? But Ale hasn't changed bass, and that puzzled me at first. So watch. Apparently she forgot, because then she turns and she looks, she goes, oh yeah, that's right. So see, this tells me that they had an unusual tuning there. They could not say, well, let's do 2 songs back to back that are the same tuning. This tuning to me is a very unusual tuning, and it tells me a lot about what they're thinking about. Well, it gives me an idea anyway. It gives me an idea that they're saying, hey, let's, they've probably found this tuning with a band doing a particular song that they liked, and they went, let's try that tuning, and then let's write a song in it. Let's write a song in it. That's the point. They wrote a song in this tuning, and it plays to the tuning, the big thunder drop, the big low end of this song, Automatic Sun. Perfect song for the Eclipse, by the way. So that's my 2 cents, my crazy thinking, and I just think it shows the Warning growing and doing interesting things with their music, and I can't wait to see this. I would be surprised if it doesn't at least make it to the top 10 on Billboard. Good song, very good song. So I hope you enjoyed this. It took a long time for me to ferret this out because the tuning is so unusual, and I thought that says a lot about Danny, Ale, and Pau and how they're approaching their music, that they're actually really working hard to put together what they consider to be an album that will express who they are, and that makes me extremely hopeful for their future. I can't wait to hear the rest of this album. So, and I mean, I don't want to hear it until I can hear it with you, either in video, or if we know that the rest of it's not going to come out in video, then we'll listen to it in audio only. But that's coming. So if you want to hear that with me, make sure you subscribe. And down there in the right-hand corner is a little red YouTube button. You can just touch that on your screen, and it will subscribe you. If you want to support this channel and fund what we're doing, you can do it at cupofcoffee.com or at Patreon, where it's ad-free and unblocked. And those links are in the description. Thanks for hanging with me and my crazy ideas. And I appreciate you being here. I love you guys as always. And I will talk to you later. Bye now.